Welcome to Stone and Void. I'm your host, Jay Phillips. Joining me, as always, Don Bowie.
Hey.
Patrick Collins.
Hello.
And we are Stone and Void, the weekly podcast for everything you care about in Force of Will. We've been gone for a couple of weeks, but that's because we're updating the channel, doing a lot of new cool things. So, sorry guys, we were gone for, 3 weeks? But totally worth it. Starting as soon as episode 50, and actually right now, if some of you guys are sneaky enough to find us, we are streaming live on Twitch, starting every Thursday at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Now, of course, if you guys are smart enough to or lucky enough to catch us this time, we're streaming a little bit late because we're lazy. Yeah. But starting at episode 50, for now on, you guys can chat with us live, interact with us, and we'll try to incorporate the show with you guys a little bit more and make this a little bit more of a
really
interactive
fun
thing
to talk to.
So much. So this week we're going to do mainly just catch up on all the things that we missed over the past couple of weeks. And kind of just go from there. Yeah. The first thing that we wanted to go over was the most broken cards of the newest set.
Well, the cards that weren't in the spoiler articles. That
were
decent.
The most noteworthy things.
Yeah.
So the first one is Barrier Seal for 1 fire and 1 light. It's an addition. When this card enters your field, remove all cards in all graveyards from the game. If a card would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, remove it from the game instead.
So, this card is insane. It wasn't in any of our spoilers. It's a uncommon and probably one of the most busted cards that the game has released. In Magic, the equivalent of this card is
Rest in
Peace. And yeah, it is. This is just a card that shuts down so many strategies. I'm actually sad about this one existing, in my personal opinion. I know you could care less.
Yeah, I actually really like this card because I'm kind of over the whole bear bow combo, bear and what's the black blue spell?
Space time
anomaly. Yeah. So I'm kind of over all those remnant strategies. Yeah. I mean, I love Graveborn strategies, but
the thing that I hate about this though is a lot of the new cards in the set, cards that we're not even going to cover because of this card exists, are like the man in the Fisherman, where he looks at puts the top card in your graveyard and you get a Fantasy Resonator equal to its converted mana cost, or the spell that does that, or the various things that they've aligned for this to be in the set. And they did so many great things for blue, where blue finally has this really cool, unique mechanic where it's doing stuff off the top of the deck, it's doing all these things, but they have to go to the graveyard. And if they get banished instead, all of these effects are pointless, which also makes the only thing that you're getting from it is the minus X or to the attack or defense, depending on what it was that you cast off of Valentina. But you're not getting anything for the actual card itself anymore, so it makes her completely weak and pointless in this upcoming meta. Like, she went from the thing I wanted to do to being probably the worst ruler spoiled / one of the worst rulers in the game.
I have to disagree. Yeah. So, I know we've been arguing about this all day, Jay, but I still don't think anyone's going to play this card. I understand I understand, like, you guys think this card could be a worthy sideboard card. I think a lot of people are going to, at least at the start of the meta, a lot of people are going to ignore, like, the deck that you like as a valid strategy.
But, I mean, that's fine. If they ignore it at first and it becomes a decent deck and I can play Valentina, well, then it becomes good, which then makes this card good.
But then you get to prove that it's good.
But I don't want to prove that it's good. Because I don't want to get wrecked by this one card that destroys the entire deck. I don't want to go to like the finals where they're all like, "Did you see this blue-black Valentina
You only
deck?
need one AGP. You only need one AGP win. That's it."
Mm-hmm. That means I'd have to be playing in a group of people that don't get the deck out in the open, and I'm pretty sure if this deck is good, other people are gonna realize it's good, and therefore this card is gonna get main deck.
It might.
And we're going to talk later, the most potential good deck to come out of this new set is most likely going to be the green-black deck, which a lot of people are super hyped for. And might I remind you that the green in this format is the best way and easiest way to play a 5-color deck, and especially out of the sideboard if this is something you need to do. And that deck also thrives off after having different named stones. There's ways to make this good and make this card almost not even look like it's two different colors.
But you have to remember with that green-black deck, a lot of the sideboard slots are being taken up by the Chimeras. There's at least half of your side deck is being used up already. So you're going to have to be very, like, conscientious of what... It's going to be like a side deck with how the old Valentina
I just can't see where this doesn't, at some point, just shut out decks.
It probably will show up
and
at
out
some
of future
point.
decks as well. I foresee this card forever being the reason why you don't do X.
I do think this card's the strongest card in this set. Don't get me wrong, but I don't...
Let's hope that doesn't
I
get
feel
played.
like, just based on the player base that I've met and seen, and just all the talk about the red-white synergy going on right now, it doesn't sound like anyone's going to be playing it, or at least playing a deck with this card in it. Like, if you're playing the red-white strategy, it's either like heavy aggro, right? Or it's super removable.
I don't think that it's going to be the red-white deck that plays this. I think it's a sideboard tech and a control shell or something with green that just knows that it can have this as a tool for a free win against decks that need their graveyard. This just kills certain decks. This is just instantly better than Horn was. This is a dead answer to that.
So you're saying this is like an answer to all the Remnant cards that are out there?
It's an answer to Remnant cards. It's an answer to any... If we ever got back to reborning something out of the graveyard, it stops the magical being from being a playable card, which...
That is kind of funny. Did you, like, hoard, like, your own deck to, like, say, reshuffle your deck and then play this card and be like, hey, if we're, like... just gonna be at a attrition based that I just win because you mill yourself out first.
Yeah, this is instant win to attrition matches. This does so much to the game. It stops so many strategies, and it stops so many strategies from this own set. The magical beam does nothing anymore. The Valentina deck does next to nothing anymore. There's so many cards that did something with the graveyard when they entered or put stuff in the graveyard. Did something with it that are now no longer viable at all because of this card. Even if it doesn't see play, it's already a card that's in play in your mind, and you know that you're something that you can see. You don't want to play into something that kills your deck before you even sat down.
I mean, I wouldn't say this kills the Remnant cards because Bear Magic and Space Time Anomaly are good as a one of like one.
Well, I don't know if Bear Magic is.
So they're okay, but the real power of Space-Time Anomaly was getting the flashback.
Yeah, it's overpowered, but it still replaces itself, and it's still trading up with whatever you're doing, right?
I mean, but you don't get the...
You don't get the double
usage out of it anymore. Which, yes, you could say that some of it is, just good single spells, but it does stop other cards completely that worked off of the graveyard in the first place. Now, nothing can no longer die. There's no chance of them printing die triggers. Like, when this enters the graveyard, do something. No, it's gone. All of the Cthulhu's that used to trigger off of, like, instead of putting it into your graveyard, you can then pay into it just vanishes.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of those ways where this is a card that's really powerful because it just stops X amount of strategies. And I think that's where I'm just going to leave my argument, because it just stops a bunch of decks.
Sure.
I wouldn't say it stops it that hard, but I would agree with you. It cuts it in half.
I mean, if this is anything like Rest in Peace and Magic, I foresee this being an answer to a lot of decks, just a hard answer.
Yeah.
If you're playing a deck too focused around that. Either way, I knew we were going to get into that.
It's really good in LSRs, maybe?
Yeah.
It stops Earther, though, like you mentioned.
Yeah, Earther doesn't benefit from this card at all. Makes Earther pretty bad.
Well, let's move on to the next card and talk about some stuff that's not going to get us so heated. Although it is a hell of a fire card.
So the next card we have is
no pun intended.
World Flame Summoning for 6, 2 hard red. Choose 2, your opponent banishes a special magic stone, or this card deals 800 damage to each resonator your opponent controls, or this card deals 800 damage to your opponent, or this card deals 1,500 damage to target J-Ruler.
So this is kind of a weird card that has a lot of
multi-answer red, and it's ancient magic.
So this card is completely unplayable at 6 mana. But it's Ancient Magic. So now we're talking about a possibly free card.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes from being unplayable to being, oh my god, I can't believe they printed this card. It's kind of, I mean, what do you even necessarily choose? It kills a J ruler almost always. It's decent damage against somebody's face for free.
I like the board wipe ability personally.
Yeah, the board wipe is just amazing. And then just because maybe my blue guy Captain Hook didn't bounce enough of your stones, let me just destroy one.
So
they get to choose, though.
Right, but it's still -1 resource.
Yeah.
Would you play this in a hook deck?
Maybe.
Just 4 hooks and 4 of these with
just as the most disgusting thing you can possibly
do. Just a soul deck with red-blue hook.
Red-blue Wanderer hook, so you can play with that old
I mean, we have a red-blue Ancient Magic ruler now.
Yep.
So now we can just be as filthy as possible, get rid of everybody's stones, and then in the older formats, we can have just more ways. It's gross how much stone destruction they are now allowing into the game, and at free. This can be free.
Yeah, I feel like it's only limited in the Ancient Magic rules.
It is. You don't play this with about anybody else, I think. In limited you do, but
yeah, and it also answers a lot of the non-magical stone, special stone users.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not using special
I'm
stones.
honestly glad that there's another, spell that's, destroying special magic stones.
And this is a very fair way to kill a ruler, unlike the Moonbeam.
Yeah.
I actually agree with this style of killing a ruler, because you can counter it. Still a little salty if you can't tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys want to move on to the next card?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So the next card that we have is going to be Gru Ballesta, Magic Stone Researcher. For 1 darkness, 1 wind, and 1 colorless. It is a Resonator 6 Sage. Attack 600, defense 600. Magic stones you control gain barrier. This card gains +100/+100 for each magic stone you control with a different name. When this card enters your field, banish any number of magic stones. Put the top X cards of your magic stone deck into your field rested, where X is the number of magic stones banished this way. This card gains swiftness and precision, as long as you control 5 or more magic stones with different names.
So, the new thing that they added to all the cards in the set are 1,000 words.
Yeah.
No, so the best thing about this card is it's a 6 Sage. Unlike the red guy who decided to not return as a 6 Sage in the set, which makes no sense to me.
Molest.
Molest is now just a fire spirit.
I was very upset.
And
this is my favorite.
Yeah, so I'm completely upset that we lost a 6 Sage, but at least we get more 6 Sages in this set. This guy's pretty cool. Barrier to your stones is good against Hook, but terrible against that last card that we just saw, since you still sack a stone. So I don't really think the stones gain barrier is really what this card's doing. I mainly
it
put
might be funny in the infinite attack Arla stone deck, where you turn your stone into a resonator and you just attack with it over and over again. Because then it has barrier; they can't even kill it with a kill spell.
No, this card is really silly, and this is the reason why he's actually in here. So we're not going to cover all the spoilers that we missed throughout the weeks. I mainly only put the good cards and the funny cards. And this card definitely fits in the interesting category of, is it ever going to be good? We don't know, but it's going to do something category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone will play with this, like Jay or something.
I'm going to do something stinky with this. It's a 6 Sage, maybe in a singleton format.
It filters your stones.
It does. So the thing that it reminded me of was Scape Shift in Magic. Just always trying to bring it back to Magic, like I always do. Just kidding.
It's not. I mean,
it's not as powerful as Scape Shift.
I know I'm defending the bad rulers here from BFA, but it could help you get to those 4 special magic stones.
Right, the 4 special magic stones. So you could. That's true. Of course, now you're just banishing these because they go to the graveyard and banish forever.
No, they're just going to the graveyard.
Yeah, so they get banished forever thanks to that Rest in Peace card.
Oh yeah. Rest in
peace, I'm just going to throw everything back.
Rest in Peace does get rid
so
of
this
your
makes
stones
this even worse.
Good, yeah.
But so yeah, the idea is you could go and get the special stones, hopefully. But in Magic, Scape Shift is sacrifice any number of lands that you have and then search for that many lands and put them in play.
Okay.
So it's kind of similar to that. Of course, we don't have Velocoot in this format in Force of Will. And for people who don't know what that is, in Magic, Velocoot is whenever a mountain enters play, you do damage to your opponent for that many mountains. And so with Scape Shift, you would sack all of your, doesn't matter what they are, go get mountains and then kill them with that many mountains in play. Completely busted. It's a deck in Modern. Really awesome. But in Force of Will, we don't have anything like that yet. I could definitely see them doing something interesting in the future, and this is a potential combo card.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they would ever do anything like whenever a Magic Stone enters the battlefield.
It could be a... No, so this is my idea. Is a Resonator edition, or not Resonator, sorry, just editions. I totally know how this game works. An edition that has tap, or no, not tap, just pay 1 red and do 100 damage or 200 damage or an amount of damage to an opponent. So you tap all of your stones, do that much damage, sack them all, get new ones, and then tap and do that much more damage. That's something we could see is a burnout like that. Actually, we already have rulers. We already have cards that do that. You could do that with the vampire right now. Just tap a black stone and do that much damage. Mm-hmm. This could cycle that in for a whole new batch of stones to then tap.
These come in rested.
Yeah, they come in rested.
Oh, that's a problem.
So they would have to be an ETB effect or something in the future sets.
ETB, I guess, would work. Or if they ever print a card that allows stones that would enter tapped to enter untapped instead. Amulet of Vigor type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm showing
I really doubt that's ever going to happen. Or at least for a long time.
Yeah. You know, that's an interesting thing because we're going to talk about this later. But there is an actual chance that we might see a few more cards in sets coming up. We'll get back to that. Anyway, let's move on to another card that probably has a little bit more potential. And it's going to be the...
Valentina's Reach for 1 darkness and 1 water and X. It's a chant. Choose 1. Your opponent discards X cards or you draw X cards.
So, the biggest thing you guys might have noticed from the new Shifting podcast is I'm no longer reading cards. So, that's all done now.
It's actually pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? Told you. Not just me here. However, this card is amazing. It doesn't look that good because it's 2 mana and they discard X, but it does help against decks that can redraw, like Charlotte. She can redraw. You make her discard those cards. But the reason why I put this card on the list for us to actually talk about is when it's bad as a discard spell, it's good as a draw spell. So it's kind of always a decent card. And if the Valentina deck was able to get off, say they're not doing stuff to counter you too much, this also gives a -100 or something, and you draw cards. So you can kill something small, you can draw cards.
So would X count as the cost? If I paid like 3 for it, would it give -5 to something?
Well, it would have to be that would have to be all black, and then it'd be minus to their back end. If it's blue, it's front end, so it's split in color. But I see what you're talking about. I don't think that would work. I'd have to read Valentina. But either way, being able to ramp really fast and finding a way to make your opponent discard their hand can greatly set you ahead in the board, and then drawing late game as a better Sphinx Revelation type of thing where you just draw a bunch of cards. Unfortunately, you don't... This isn't instant speed, so you have to play it on your turn. That's the downside of it. But you do get to refresh your hand. So I think this is one of the better draw spells we've had in the game so far.
I think it costs too much. Like, it costs 4 mana to draw 2.
Yes, but there is ways to ramp into it.
I could maybe see playing 1/1.
Yeah.
But not... I don't think you would play more than one of these, though.
It's really weird. It's a card
you don't want to see it all that often.
But it is a good discard spell. And
it
an
is,
okay draw.
I think just Lapis's Dark Storm is just...
It's just better. That is true. It's 2 mana and you just 2 cards off the top. I feel like maybe there's... With Valentina, this card does cost 1 less for X.
Oh.
There's other cards that we can possibly see in blue-black that will decrease costs. Mm-hmm. So when you start thinking of that way, this card gets better that way. Is when you start making X cost cheaper, this actually becomes good.
Yeah, but when you talk about playing Valentina, though, you usually talk about just playing her unflipped.
Right. This is kind of an odd thing where you'd actually have to flip her for it, but it's... I would like to see where the blue-black deck can go. This is a card that I think is in the toolbox that we don't want to forget that exists. And then what does Valentine actually say?
So it says whenever you play Water Chant Resonator, target Resonator gains -X0 until end of turn, where X is the chant's total cost. So it would count for both ends, but I don't know what the total cost is.
So because it's a lot stronger than I remember.
Yeah, it's way stronger. So it's blue-black no matter what, so it's -X, -X.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's already -2/-2 to something, then plus X. So this can just be a board wipe, or not a board wipe, but a straight kill spell. So if you draw 5, then that's
that actually
7,
makes me
that's -7/-7. That's really good. That's actually okay. So I'm definitely thinking this card's playable. It kills. You can kill Lancelot with it and draw 4 cards.
Yeah, but you have to have 6 mana.
Yeah.
You can ramp into it.
6
You can get there. So I think you play this as a 2-of maybe, or maybe it's one of those cards where if you can get late game and you start snowballing in one after another, and maybe having multiples of it just allows you to power your opponent. I don't know. This is a card that I want to play with, though.
I would only play with this card if it was instant speed.
I think that's a problem, but I think there might be a way around that in the future. So I'm not too worried about it. Next up, we have...
Magic Rebound for 1 black and 1 water. It's a chant, quick cast. Change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. Draw a card. The new target must be legal.
This is probably one of my favorite things in the blue-black deck. This card is basically can be a counterspell most of the time, or it can just be a decent... I mean, it's a misdirect. It's misdirect that's not in a red color, which it's...
And it draws you
games we know. And I think that's the best part. Yeah, it draws you a card. This card is quite insane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it says the new target must be legal, and there's quite a few cards that say opponent's resonator, right?
Right, so now it's my opponent's resonator. Is it not going to allow me to...
It wouldn't let you redirect it to... So you're...
So it's not like a normal where I'm recasting the spell.
But say if it's like a kill spell, you're countering their kill spell,
destroy
killing one of their creatures.
Yeah, if it's like Endless Night.
Yeah.
I think Endless Night destroys anything.
I think this is going to be good enough on average, especially when it's deal 600 damage to target resonator or something like that. I think you're most likely going to see this against those type of things. Destroy target. Too bad you can't respond to Magical Moonbeam with this. It'd be so cool if you could just no, kill your ruler.
Yeah. Black Moonbeam is pretty brutal.
Oh, stupid Black Moonbeam.
I like the flavor text. Get away from me.
Yeah. And it's featuring one of my favorite 6 Sages. Mucha Dart is amazing. So I forget who the other lady is now. Yeah.
Valentina?
That's Valentina?
I don't know who that
I don't know who that is.
That's Mooshdart.
It looks like just an illusion.
Yeah, well, I thought this was one of
the... the same ears.
Okay.
And the same eyes.
Alrighty. Well, we're not going to look too much at that then. Next card up is... Not that. There we go.
It's going to be Alhamat's Black Lightning. Alhamat's. For 2 dark... It's a chant, ancient magic. This card cannot be cancelled. Destroy target non-darkness resonator. If this card was awakened, put it into its owner's hand as it resolves. An awakening is 1 dark and 3 colorless.
So officially, we can finally say it dies to Doomblade.
Yeah.
No. So this card's really good. The fact that it can't be countered is a ability that I'm still having odds with. I really don't enjoy.
But it can be responded to.
It can be responded to.
So you could actually sack your resonator to Levitine this time.
True. This is a lot better than Can't Be Chased. A lot better. Thank you guys for that. So this is actually slightly nice on that regard. However, this is just a really good spell. And the fact that you can awaken it and...
You don't mind that it's not a quick cast?
I don't mind, no. I think that's fine as a sorcery. And the awakening is interesting because... You never know when you can just rebuy it and just take out one thing per turn. if you have an influx of mana and you don't know what to do. Sorry, guys. And also, when we finally get the inevitable black ancient magic ruler, that is most likely going to be Lapras.
Lapras.
Is Alhamad?
I would think it's going to be an Alhamad
or Alhamad being a black ruler. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, the fact is, we're going to get an ancient magic ruler at some point, and that's when stuff like this is just going to be like, oh, 2 mana, free awakening, and yay. I'm just going to kill stuff now.
I'm not positive. I'm skeptical.
And then you, for free, you get to destroy target J ruler because Black Moonbeam is ancient magic.
The black J ruler for ancient magic is going to be pretty good.
Oh,
that's if there's going to be one.
I mean, at this
point,
point,
not convinced.
I think they have to. Like, it says ancient magic.
Yeah, they're really pushing it. Anything else you guys want to say
about this card?
Yeah. I
mean, Feasting's getting killed right there, so that's cool.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's the death of Feasting. I'm super sad about that.
She's getting, what is it, like the force, the lightning, whatever.
By far the best of the 6 sages.
Yeah, he looks kind of Sith.
Second only to...
Yeah, he looks like the Sith Lord or whatever.
Yeah.
And Feasting is...
At least we still have 0. I like 0.
It's all about Molest.
Nah, it's Feasting, 0, Muchadart, then Molest.
Yeah.
I like the bamboo cutter. Kaguya.
Kaguya? She's not a 6 sage.
She's a baby.
She's like a baby 6 sage.
No, she's not a 6 sage.
She'll probably replace Feasting.
Probably. That'd be kind of cool.
She was trained by all of the 6 sages.
No,
right?
she was trained by 0 and Feasting.
Didn't she live in the home of the 6 sages at one point?
Yeah, but they're all like stones or something.
Yeah, and then they came over to the Elves world or something. I don't know. Weird story stuff. We don't completely all know about that. Good card, play it. It isn't an uncommon, so this is a perfect card for limited.
A lot of the cards I think we went over, like,
yeah, this
uncommon.
is all of them are insane for limited. These cards are just good. Play them, and then we get to the more interesting part of the cards that we missed through.
Yeah, the Chimeras.
Yeah, so you don't necessarily need to read these, Don. So, Chimeras, they're the ones that are getting the most hyped up right now. So at first, you guys didn't support me in my Chimeras. No, I'm joking. You don't have to say anything on this. But yeah, no, I understand why. And then these 2 Chimeras came out. The one that we'll flip to next. That's the one that helped bring the deck over. So that gives you 2 untapped stones when it enters. So this helps you.
You did have to stack 1 stone to get here, though.
Huh?
So you stack 1 stone to get it in the first place.
But this helps you, like, stay on curve, though.
Mm-hmm.
This Griffin. And then it could also combat Gwyber in the air.
Right.
So it's flying, so it's got evasion. It's big enough to handle. And then the guy that we were just looking at, the Manticore, right? Mm-hmm. He's really good against combo decks because he's an instant discard outlet. So on their turn, once they draw, you think they're going to combo off. You just summon this guy, get to look at their hand, take the 1 card out of their hand that you don't want them to have, and then they can't combo off anymore.
Right.
So this deck can potentially get out a big dude, most likely the stone dude, on turn 2.
Yeah.
So if they get lucky enough, flip the stone they need on turn 1, great. Second turn, they flip their dude. Of course, they played a 1-drop on first turn and a 1-drop on the second turn. Sack both those dudes, then you already have a flying 12/12 on turn 2. Sounds kind of like Turbo Gwyber.
Kind of does.
But the thing is, you can keep reusing these guys over and over again because you can summon these guys from out of play too. Like you can't. So there's no way to completely remove these things. And if you just like, I was even thinking like, oh, what if you just like chained it down with an enchantment? It's like then they just sacrifice it to get another one. Like there's no easy way of stopping these guys from doing what they want. They just ramp
you every turn.
You have to kill you have to kill the fodder that is being played, and that doesn't feel good when you're trying to thunder a Tama. Like it really doesn't.
No, this card is this whole Chimera thing. The problem that I had with them was and this is what I remember saying and against it was It's either not going to do anything and the whole deck is going to suck, or they're going to print something that makes it to be a playable deck, and once it's a playable deck, it's probably going to be the best deck that there is. So there's no in between for this deck. It's either terrible or oppressively overpowered, and if it's oppressively overpowered, then it's also a narrow deck where you don't play a bunch of cool answers in your sideboard. You don't do a whole bunch of cool things with it. It's just a deck that
just is
streamlines. It scares me in the way that it reminds me of how the Bahamut meta looked, where everybody's playing one deck. Mm-hmm. It's literally that deck. It countered only that deck, and it's just that deck because it's good. And I feel like this is a chance at making the Bahamut come back in form of black-green this time.
I wouldn't say so because it's so inconsistent. Like, you might not get the stone.
True.
Right?
It's not necessarily the perfect deck. It definitely has its flaws, but it has a lot of things that it looks like it's building towards, and this could potentially become a meta deck. I understand the hype that people are putting behind this, and I'm not going to discount it like I did the first time because of cards like that. When you go off, you go so far ahead of your opponent. Mm-hmm. Being able to go up a stone each turn, if you're lucky, like if you're on that roll, you're by turn 4, you're 4 stones ahead of them. You've doubled your mana. You've got big creatures out, and they're just doing nothing compared to you. Mm-hmm. This deck can just go off the hinges. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the first turn, you have a 4 in 10 chance to get that stone, right?
Right, but there's ways in this format to search out stones. There's ways to.
A lot of people are playing Blessing of Yggdrasil.
Yeah,
but then that's like a late game kind of play.
Those are like 2 cost cards that do that.
I mean, you could do that turn 1 if you're going second.
Hmm?
Yeah, but then you're losing out on a creature, right?
Yeah, but you're setting up into giant chimeras.
But then on turn 2, you have 2 stones. You could play 2 1-drops and then flip.
Okay.
So. Also, you also have the Energize to help you out too in case you win second.
Yeah,
I think this is just going to be more consistent than it looks on paper. I think this might actually be a completely viable deck, and that's terrifying. I don't want this to be a viable deck, honestly.
Yeah, to be honest, that now that I know everyone wants to play this deck, I'm upset. I want to be the only one who plays this deck. Not because it's good, just because I like just the fact of me just grabbing some powerful creature out of space. And
it's okay, you can join me in the losing side of Valentina where nobody plays it.
Might.
Yes,
I think I'm going
Valentina boat.
We'll
get wrecked.
I think Valentina could beat this deck because Lunar Lake or like.
Yeah, Lunar Lake is really strong against this, and so is Discard.
Or the redirect.
If you can get rid of their monkeys trapped in life from hand. Because those monkeys always keep coming if they hit the board.
Right. So maybe this is our perfect triangle of Valentina beats this guy beats the red-white deck, but the red-white deck beats Valentina.
Do you think this guy is part of it? Because you're saying this deck is like either the best or the worst. Do you think, does that kind of deck fit in a triangle?
That is a problem. I don't know until I see this deck being played.
Okay.
But there is the chance of, if you can outproduce stone-wise your opponent, this deck could be just a tier above everything else. If you can outpace, because you're also, these aren't in your hand, you're getting this advantage from outside the game, you still have a normal deck on top of it, you're doing all these things, you can synergize really well. There's a chance that this is just a busted deck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really want to see what it looks like, but I'm more worried about it now, seeing that we have such targeted hate in the format now. And it's deck building outside, like, J-Ruler specific decks are, he can't be destroyed. It's really annoying.
You can still get, whatever that green card is, Final Forfeit, and then Black Moonbeam him.
Yeah,
and then Blazer can kill him,
but
too.
you can get rid of, how does Blazer kill him?
Because he makes, the ruler lose all abilities.
Oh, okay.
So he would lose
but Blazer's not going to be around forever. And Final Forfeit is a card that can be countered.
Yeah.
So this card is just like, Black Moonbeam is such a punishing thing. Rulers die. I can't do stuff with the graveyard because of other reasons. And there's just so many targeted hate stuff in the format right now where a card like this might be just at the right time to really just come in and take advantage of all of that targeted hate and make a deck that's able to push everything out far enough out that once everything's far enough out, it can then start to narrow back again. And then I see this weird fluctuation of like this deck becoming really inbred and battling against itself, and then the next tournament it has to face against all the decks that it forgot about, and then it comes back and goes forth. And I feel maybe it'll be similar to in Magic how one of the best decks is always going to be Affinity for Artifacts.
Yeah.
But it's really funny if that deck's got people that are willing to go up against it. It can get hated out of the format, but then it can kind of try and target those decks, and it does this weird fluctuating thing where it can be the best thing but not always win. And we could run into that format too. It's this could go multiple different ways, and I think I'm just going to end up speculating on it too much. I just don't want it to be the best thing.
Yeah,
I'm worried about that.
To be honest, I don't either. I really wanted to at first
give you guys a look at
like
that.
I wanted to be like that weird like niche thing where it's like, oh,
yeah,
this could kind of do things. But
the other Chimera, just so that way you guys know, when it enters the battlefield, you get to choose an opponent's hand and choose a card and make them discard it, which is really good. Or just destroy a target addition or regalia opponent controls, which can be decent as well.
Yeah, but I mean, you're more than likely going to choose the first ability.
Yeah, discarding a card is going to be great, and this is just toolboxing at this point.
Yeah, no, it's got 3 substantially different chimeras that can pretty much handle any situation that you...
And I wouldn't be surprised for them to print more chimeras in the future for this.
Yeah, they said I think 1 or 2 more chimeras will be reprinted.
Yeah.
So how would like a typical best turn for this deck be?
I think you want to turn 1 Tama, I think. And then probably a Monkey Trapped in Life turn 2. And of course you want the Stone turn 1, right?
Yeah.
And then you flip.
You flip.
And then
flip turn 2?
And then you flip turn 2 and you respawn and you summon one of your chimeras if they try to destroy one of your fodder pieces, or you do it at the end of their turn when they, resolve doing whatever the heck they wanted to do. But this is almost always going to be the first chimera you play, the Griffin. Just because he just ramps you up. And the stones, they come in untapped, which is amazing.
So you can play a 2-drop.
So then you play this, and then you play 2 more 1-drop fodders. So you can only do the Fox's ability once per turn, right? So you summon the Griffin on your turn. You have 2 stones up. You may put 2 more fodder guys up. On their turn, you can do it again. You can make another chimera on their turn. So that's like the perfect quote-unquote play.
And then get 2 more stones and then respond for something.
So it's just a snowball-y deck, and I figured that's just what people are coming up with now. I'm curious what they'll do in a couple weeks from now.
Yeah.
I think this could be just a snowball-y deck that can overpower things.
And this is an uncounterable card, because you're not casting it, you're using an ability,
yeah,
right?
I think, it's like the only thing that can, quote-unquote, counter it is, it's Lapis, right? The ruler, because he can counter an activated ability, so you can counter the rulers.
He hits it though, right?
Yeah. He gets the resonators, but I mean, if you don't want him to like even come out and play, Lapis just has the Pay the Moon counter target activated ability.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's.
So he would be the hard counter, but that would be like dedicating a side deck and a total ruler for the...
Either way, this deck is going to be something you have to keep on your radar and probably build some part of your deck around it.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to be past... Like, that Chimera is kind of just too good. And I would love to see if somebody found a way to even play it outside the deck.
I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up eradicating this Chimera, particularly just say stones come in tapped.
That could be a thing.
Because that might make it just a lot more balanced.
Yeah. Just wait. Next card on our list. Let's actually just move off of the spoilers since we had everything for the week.
Yeah, that's all the spoilers
all that we
really wanted to talk about. If you guys want to talk about cards, post them.
Yeah, we can always talk about it next week, and especially when you guys get to join us in chat next week and actually watch us live. It'll be awesome. Make sure you guys tune in at 6:30 and watch us. And we'll do a whole bunch more than just spoilers since we'll be out of spoilers. But we do have the promo cards that are going to be given out. And this is the new
Wanderers
format card, which I'm surprised this is their choice of ruler, since this isn't exactly one that I think is going to see play anytime soon. But it is a fan favorite, and people do love this card.
Yeah.
It got a lot of play back when it first came out, and that's going to be Vlad. Tempest?
Tapes?
Something?
Tempest.
I actually don't know.
TPs.
Yeah.
TPs.
Vladimir. Not Vladimir Putin. He's not a card. Maybe they might do that in the future. World Leaders. Bengal. That'd be interesting. So this card, why is it interesting? It has a pretty cheap judgment. That's not the best part about it, but it's the 2 mana, deal 200 damage to target opponent.
Any color.
Of any color. So this was just, and you gain life, right? Yeah, you gain 200 life back. So this was a draining game for ruler.
This was like the control ruler.
Yeah.
This was like, yeah.
This was before Reflect and Refrain existed.
Yeah.
This was the best option for that as well. I never actually played with this card. I was playing Alexandra basically the entire time that when she came out. I played Alexandra nonstop because it beat Bahamut mainly.
I thought this card was just too boring to play.
Yeah,
I played it.
Yeah. It was good.
That's fine.
And Alexandra beat it as well.
I think this card's...
I think the unsung hero from that entire format was Alexandra. And just really just hard stapling that in there. You all didn't know. And then the other side that you never flipped to was an 800 attack, 1,000 defense, and when it entered the battlefield, destroy target resonator with
3 cost or less.
Yeah, 3 cost will
and
or
then
less.
You gain life equal to its defense. Power. I can't remember.
There's another ability on it. It gives it imperishable or something like that.
Yeah.
Nobody ever saw the backside of it, so
Nope.
I can't remember what she does.
Never bothered to look the other side.
And then
Vlad.
we do have a couple other spoilers. These ones are going to be the normal weekly or monthly cards that we get. I can talk, guys. I promise.
The Ruler League promos is what they're called.
Thank you. We have the ever so good 6 mana Alice, 15/15. She's played in the
Tree Alice.
Yeah, the Tree Alice. And it says Happy New Year on it. I mean, you can't. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty awesome art, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. Not a big fan of little girl art, but that art's pretty cool.
It's not too teenager. Yeah, it's teenage art. And then our other one is actual kid art, which is, but not in a sexualized form. It is Happy New Year's Kaguya.
Actual kid art.
Well, she is a little kid in this one.
So just the way you phrased it,
I mean,
could also just mean like, oh, it looks like a little kid drew.
Like the difference.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, see?
Sure.
Yeah, it's very chibi-ized.
Yeah. I hope you guys like our new graphics that we have. A little bit of a change.
So this is the Kaguya that summons bunnies.
Mm-hmm.
With moon mana.
If this thing never got errated to be what it was supposed to be, this card would have been one of the most broken.
Okay, first of all, Jay, you knew we read it online first with the Awakening, and then it was printed without it.
I don't watch Stone Void.
God dang it, Jay.
Other people do. I don't know what this guy right here does. He talks weird random stuff every week, and I don't listen to him. No. Just this card would have been amazing as printed originally.
Yeah.
I would have loved to play bunnies, and then this card costs too much to play bunnies. And that's basically all that we had for the week of everything.
Cards.
Yeah, for card wise. The other things that we did have was we had the movie.
The movie.
The second trailer.
So the second trailer
my God.
for the Forcible movie is out, and I haven't actually seen it yet. You guys have though, right?
What is it called? Bridge to Ram or ROM?
So the reason why I hadn't seen it is they showed up literally at the studio
ROM,
here.
the Bridge to Lanka.
It looks so good.
So they showed up here to the studio and they're like, "Did you see the new video?" And I was just like, "What?
So
No."
I guess something very noticeable about it is it has a completely different animation style from the first movie. Like this is totally CGI.
Well, it's a new animator, new everything. This isn't a second trailer for it in general. This is just the second movie since there's going to be 5 of them in total. I'm actually watching it for the first time right now. It's very interesting. They didn't put it on YouTube, and they didn't put it on the Force of Will website.
No, it's on YouTube. It's just not on the specific channel.
It's not on Force of Will's YouTube.
Yeah,
it was posted to Facebook first, correct?
That's where I found it.
Yeah, so if you guys want to check it, you got to either type it in onto YouTube directly. The animation looks pretty good for digital. I usually completely hate digital. And just find it on Facebook is probably going to be the easiest way to do it. I would show it on the side, but I don't have the video right now. What do you guys think of it?
I mean, it looks completely different than the first one, and I'm saying like this in all accounts. So animation, this one actually looks like it has action in it. This one looks future.
The first one looked like it had action.
No, but it it had like serious psychological. Let's run away from the next creepy thing. Things. Where this one is like, hey, let's kung fu fight. This might be the Monkey King, maybe. I'm not sure. In space.
Yeah.
So, and I guess like. And someone made a I don't know where I read this comment, but I kind of like resonated with it. It's like, okay, they're kind of departing so much from Force of Will. Is anyone gonna even check out the card game if they watch this and not already?
I'm pretty sure this will be in the card game, though.
You think they're gonna
just like way down the line?
No, I think
in another universe.
So this is a couple other things that we want to talk about really quick. So a few things we all know that. Dividing after the next two sets that will come out after the one that we were just talking about right here, this cluster, the next cluster is going to be discontinuing the current storylines.
Yes.
So we have a wide open story arc to go into. My guess is we're going to follow a lot of the movie stuff after this.
Maybe a Vingolf.
I wouldn't be surprised to see us do something within this vein though, like future stuff, anything. Like I just imagine that. We're gonna have a lot more freedom.
You're almost making it sound like all these movies are gonna meld based off these two movies.
They're completely different, but that's fine. I think that it's gonna be like the multiverse of magic, where planeswalkers go to different places, and each world is highly different from the last. And instead of always being like the problem with magic that I always thought was weird was up until now this is the first time that they did something that wasn't just primitive magic. Like it was always old school magic, wizards, things like that. Force of Will isn't tied to that narrative. It can be like future spaceships world in one area and then old school magic in another. Then none of that completely, let's play with dinosaurs for some reason. It can be encompassing of the true multiverse of worlds as opposed to like always old school magic stuff. So I could see them cluster to cluster, moving from world to world to really create a more developed storyline.
Yeah,
like that.
The thing I'm afraid about that is like, what if they go a WizKids route and just like, what if the worlds don't melt?
Okay, WizKids is a terrible company, and we're just not going to talk about what they've done. Well, I think what more of what you're looking at is what Yu-Gi-Oh has done with their worlds. How Yu-Gi-Oh is a shotgun blast of everything under the sun. That's what I'm afraid of happening, but that wouldn't be the worst.
Yu-Gi-Oh does it pretty well.
Yu-Gi-Oh does it decently, but they don't do it with a continuity of like understanding of like it's a card game for card game's sake, so everything exists all the time. This is going to be like probably in world to world, the problem with WizKids, really quick guys, it's not that they move between universe to universe. It's the fact that they move from IP to IP, which is. You could call them different universes, but it doesn't make sense when it's completely something different, like Marvel versus Digimon or Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah. That doesn't make sense. We're not going to go in. We kind of already go into different IPs with the Vangolf sets, but I don't foresee it going from. We're not going to be playing against Dungeons and Dragons or Yu-Gi-Oh anytime soon. I don't think we're going to move that far. We're not going to WizKids this game. I hope not.
Yu-Gi-Oh wouldn't be the worst for this thing to meld with since the art style is pretty similar.
But, I mean, they're definitely not going to ever do that.
Yeah.
So, either which way, guys, I think the movie worlds can exist within Force of Worlds multiverse of things, and we can get into more of this style stuff throughout the later parts of the game. So I imagine, yes, the movies will probably reflect a little bit into the game itself at some points.
Okay.
How that exactly going to go, I don't know, but they're not going to release them all at once, so we're going to have a good enough time in between each one of them. I bet you we can get out a cluster in between each one. It'd be interesting to see it that way. And at worst, a lot of people might just watch the movies. That wouldn't be the worst thing ever. To have good movies that people like and people watch, I'm all for this.
Yeah, and they'll get more support.
Yeah.
And they'll get attention anyways if it's good.
Mm-hmm. It'd just be nice.
Do you mind if we switch to a new subject now?
Well, I wanted to continue from this one and move on to the expansion of the sets, yeah?
Yeah. I want to talk about the new cluster.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, it was confirmed by Jordan that the next cluster will start having sets with more cards in them. So that will be meaning more than 100 cards. Mm-hmm. So he said like a significant like portion or percentage. So Jay's assuming like 50 cards added. I think it's probably going to be more like 20 cards. But we will be seeing more cards slowly but surely. And there was a poll that actually came up with this. That was asking like what would people want to see with, in the new cluster. And I thought that was interesting. The top one is consistent support of new mechanics introduced at the beginning and then spread throughout the entire cluster. Because like with this cluster, we've already seen like kind of like two sets that are very like they almost like don't meld too well, other than the red blue ancient magic kind of stuff, right? Like it's not very. The first set wasn't support like Force is gone. Like it's not in this set at all. No. I mean, I know no one liked it to begin with, but still,
I feel like that was a starter mechanic more than anything else, anyways.
Okay, but I'm just saying that it's gone. It's gone. And then the second most voted for thing was more synergy in a single attribute. So they want like light to have like a actual definition of like what it's gonna be, and like they want the colors to be more well defined, like you were saying with blue earlier, like it's starting to kind of get its identity.
That completely doesn't matter anymore.
And then the third one was larger card pools for each set in the cluster. So this one was already answered. So I mean, I'm personally upset that the card pools are getting bigger. I personally
love it.
I like buying 2 boxes and getting all the cards I need.
It's true. It's nice.
But, now I'm going to have to start buying a 3rd box. I'm not sure.
The game will actually become a collector's game at that point, which, for all of you who wanted the secondary market to go up, this is the best way to do it. Mm-hmm. However, I don't think it's going to have too big of an impact. I think that this is still going to be just a easy way to get cards. They're not going to double the set. If they go to even just 150, it will. I think we'll still be fine.
150 I think is good. But if they go anything beyond that,
I would love to see 375. Just putting it out there, 375 per set.
Yeah, that'd be overwhelming.
And that would be Magic the Gathering release.
At that point, I think I'd just maybe buy 1 box and then buy the rest at singles.
That's because
the game will probably still be cheap at that time, and then it'll probably like go up in price.
It would become a Magic the Gathering at that point. Like what their box releases is usually around 300 to 400 cards, depending on set size, first or second, and then you basically buy all the cards you need from your LGSs or online stores, which creates a secondary market. People stop cracking boxes, but stores crack boxes. No matter what product gets open, people get the cards that they want. I don't think it would be a bad idea. I would love to see more cards in each thing. We'd see more developed gameplay. If they did 400 cards each thing, that's an entire cluster in one set. That'd be insane. They're not going to do that. So 150, I think, is reasonable. 120, whatever they do, it's not going to be 200. You said a small percentage. I think this is going to be good for the game overall.
Okay.
Personally.
What do you think, Don?
I personally like the format now because it's so easily accessible, but for the growth of the game...
You think the growth of the game needs more cards?
People stop complaining. And I guess that
y'all stop
They're
complaining.
always going to complain.
It's true.
We do not need to satisfy these people. They are still buying these cards.
But Force of Will answers. Like, they're such a small company that they answer to the complaints.
And the
I don't think... they've already planned this cluster, like, a while back. Like, this wasn't...
This is them asking questions for the cluster after that.
This is... They're not adding cards in for these people complaining about the secondary market. They were already planning on doing this. People need to get this in their heads. Like, this is a company, E.g., like, he knows what he's doing. Yeah. Like, he's made
but
a business. But
they want to make sure that we feel like we're contributing.
It's a very small
really good
company.
job at doing. Like, I actually think that they're making it feel very like.
I can maybe understand like being mad at like their play testers. Like some of these cards are just bonkers, you know, like Reflect Refrain and all that stuff. But you know, they're a small company, and I guess like the biggest thing I'm upset about, people are like, "Oh, this game's dying." It's like,
no,
I know it's not. Okay, it's a game that took a chance in coming to America. Okay, like name another game that's done that. Like, oh my gosh.
I mean, we go with the Korean game of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, I mean, those two, but they were super huge to begin with. Just
and Pokemon came from Japan.
Yeah. Konami was pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, so there
Nintendo.
There are other games. There's Weiss Schwartz. There's
that's Bushy
Buddy
Road,
Fight.
though.
I'm just saying, Force of Will's a super ambitious company for how tiny it is, and that shows a lot.
No, it is, and I personally always laugh, and I know somebody's going to argue with me in the comments because you guys love doing this every time I bring this up. But yeah, I hate Bushy Road, so Bushy Road sucks. Their games aren't that bad. Bushy Road sucks. And if you want to see a dead card game, there you go. It's called anything they've made in the past ever.
I mean, they pick up pretty well, like Luck and Logic, and
are all dead.
They're kind of, but they have a following because they have an anime. I mean, I think that's the only reason.
that is. But in comparison, Force of Will. If anybody thinks that Luck and Logic or Card Fight Vanguard, all those ones that are out there, if you guys think those games are still alive, which technically they are, they're not actually doing that bad. I'm just being a jerk. They exist. People play them. People buy them. But they're a fraction compared to what Force of Will is. Force of Will is one of the more leading games right now. It has surpassed almost everything else, even if you don't just count card games. It is in the board game category of one of the bigger games out there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who said the game was dying because of the secondary market thingies. That was all pivoted around a few small select individuals that spoke way too loudly in the community. And you want to know what? All of those people that I heard complaining about that are all playing. They're all in Pokemon right now. So Pokemon, guys.
Yeah,
I brought this up a long time ago. Pokemon.
You called it.
They all moved to Pokemon. They're not doing anything with Magic anymore because Magic is the same thing as Force of Will. They have the same style. Like Pokemon. Just go play Pokemon.
Yeah, if you want a good investment, you play Force of Will because you want to play Force of Will. You don't play Force of Will and be like, I want to. It's like, hey, I want to buy this apple, but I won't have an investment on it after I eat it.
Just play Pokemon.
I want to buy a car that won't lose half of its value once I drive it off the lot. Like, this doesn't happen.
With that announcement, starting next week, we are now Energy Avoid. It's totally the colorless one. Colorless Energy. Just kidding. We're not turning into Pokemon channel. We're going to start a new channel for that. Just kidding. Maybe. Either which way, guys. I think everything is still going really well for Force of Will. I'm super excited about the set, even though I'm mad about a particular card. Everybody's going to have their days. And yeah, I'm just excited for what's to come.
Another great thing to come is the new Will PowerPoints system.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't know the specifics, but this might upset Jay a little bit. But so they'll have the same groups, right?
I'm only mad because they didn't tell me this last time.
Yes, so now we have the SA. We still have all that stuff, right? Is A the biggest? Is A top tier? Right? Or is it S? I don't remember.
Like an S rank thingy. Either which way is depending on your rank inside of that. There's a rank inside of that as well now.
So if you're in the top rank, and I think it's top 600 or something like that, if you're like number 1. You get like super crazy amount of prizes, and then if you're like 2 or 3, you get another. So it's like, so now they're going to be supporting the like people. They're going to give more stuff to the people who are really just super heavily investing in this game, as Jay did in the past.
I'm still 22 in the world and 18 in the US, so not bad. But only rank C though right now.
This is for only the new season. C. I don't think this is for the overall arcing.
No, but it does.
Maybe they'll change that. Maybe they'll be like, oh well, if you were blah blah blah, Maybe they'll combine these 2 quarters for you.
So it's the same thing as before. Is rank E 100 points, you might get a random card at that point. Rank D is 100 points, you get 1 random PR card. C, which is where I'm at right now, you get 2 prize cards. B is 300 points, you get 4. A is 400, you get 8, which that's going to be easy for just about everybody who.
Yeah.
That's 400 packs, so it's not too bad. That's open 2 boxes per release, and also win a couple of game nights and get free packs from your LGS. However, that's not too bad. It's a lot of packs, but it's not too bad. But then we have 600 points, which is the VIP, which was where I was at last time. It's only 600 points. That's not... I'll tell you guys how many points I have right now, and that's all last time, not this time. It's not enough. Of course, I have C, so I have 200 points right now. But they have the additional ranks, which is if you're sub-rank, first in the world, you get a sub-rank prize of rank 1. Whatever that means. Second to 9th place is going to get sub-rank prize 2.
So there will be like these sub-ultimate prizes on top of like...
I'm currently in sub-rank 3, maybe, which is 10 to 100th in the world type of thing.
But that's only if they count like the legacy points.
And then it goes all the way down, if they count legacy or not, which I don't understand how they're going to figure that out otherwise. At the very bottom, it's 400 to 500 points for sub-rank 7. I think all of that is going to be something that's hard for us to find out until we see what the regular sub-ranks. But you guys have a while to do it. It's all the way until the next cluster. So it's in this entire year, basically. Also, we still have the you might win a car thing going on in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a
we
lot
haven't
of
heard
reasons
anyone win that yet.
there's a lot of things to be using the app.
Not as far as I know.
If you don't want to use the apps, I will totally get a PO box. You can send them to me and send me all the.
You mean the
cards.
points?
Yeah, the points.
Yeah, I think people are speculating those might even sell for $1 a point now.
Yeah,
not $1. That's like way too
50
much.
cents, like a Pokemon card. I just wait.
Yeah.
Keep them, use them, or send them to me. Have currently entered 2,385 points.
You could have helped me get the yes rank. But you just went overboard. You're like, I have to be number 1.
We were number 1.
So I was number 1 for an entire month. I was number 2 for 2 months. And then I swiftly dropped from there. So if I'm at 2,000 some odd points, I'm guessing first place is at like 4,000? I don't even know. Something stupid. I just never going to catch up to you.
I mean, hopefully they keep the legacy rank. What if they use like a new one for this new
I think
that's
I think
what
they
might,
are going to do.
But they didn't give a prize for the previous one, so I think it might carry over.
Legacy. That'd be cool because then I'm at least sub rank 3.
Well, that would be cool for Jay, but that wouldn't be cool for everyone who's getting on board now and then's competing.
It's okay. I need more of these. This thing was like one of my favorite things I've ever
Well, you'll get that as long as you're that S rank, but you might not get something super, super special if you're in that subcategory. But, yeah, you might just have to start buying 3 boxes again from every time and then also stealing everyone's points. Yeah.
So anything else you guys want to go for tonight?
I think that's it.
All right.
Announcement for the fan art contest.
Oh yeah, almost forgot about that.
I'm just trying to jump off.
So there's Christmas theme, right?
Yeah.
Christmas theme art band contest.
There's like a new Facebook page dedicated to it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving more support to these people now. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Sorry, you don't have too much to say.
No, and I don't have any graphics for you guys either. Unfortunately, now with the new live schedule, all the stuff is going to be produced beforehand, so don't expect anything too fancy from me.
Too flashy.
Don's no longer doing our editing because he's lazy.
Yeah.
It's totally the reason.
Live streaming is pretty easy.
And that's officially it, yeah?
Yeah, it's a bit late. There's a bit of a delay, so we don't know when they're commenting, but...
No, yeah. So, in the future, guys, just to let you know, we did this one kind of just for fun to just prove that we can live stream. Starting next episode, at episode 50, we are live streaming permanently on Twitch at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you guys convert that for wherever you live. Join us, message with us live. We will try to communicate with everybody in the chat as much as we can during the shows, also before the show and everything like that, and kind of get to where we end up just talking with you guys a lot more. But this is how we normally film anyways, so yeah.
And shout out to Busy Dad. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys for joining us, for people who did find out that we were streaming today. And although we're going to cut it here, as always, I'm Jay Phillips.
I'm Patrick.
And I'm Don.
And this was Stone Avoid. I can talk really well. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week at 6:30. I'm going to stop the...